the IO. So more options in the EG lineup, and I'm wondering what they're going to try and combo it with. Like, do you actually go for the combinations like we've seen with Tiny and such, or is it just going to be that buff up style hero and Zai just makes it work?
We're not sure. That's the thing.
No.
We haven't seen too much of them, and Zai was playing the rover a lot of Riki throughout the qualifiers and afterwards. So Wings, they responded to the IO with a Mirana and Oracle. I actually expected them to respond with a Mirana and Faceless Void. So that is a little bit unusual. They first picked Void when offered it. So maybe they think the Oracle is a little bit better, and then Evil Geniuses picked the Batrider after those two. And Oracle's seen as a Batrider counter, but good Batrider players can outplay good Oracle players. We did not see this yesterday.
No, we did not. Well, then again, Batrider didn't have a great win rate yesterday. Like, after the first couple of rounds, I think he was 0-6. I don't know what he ended the day on, but Batrider actually had one of the worst win rates of yesterday.
So Evil Geniuses has banned out one of the better Oracle partners, the Alchemist, which Blink plays a pretty nasty one, and the Wings have banned out one of the Wisp partners that we saw a little bit yesterday, the Escape IO plus Storm Spirit, and Sumeo, widely regarded as one of the better Storm Spirit players.
Seems like a lot of respect bans as well across the board. Like, we knew ET was going to find its way into the ban pool. The Droid Ranger as well during this group stage. I really can't wait to see how much like field time she gets.
It's a different day of Dota today, Toby.
It really is, but it's yeah.
in the good way.
In the good way. Droid Ranger is being banned in the first two every single time. How is this the good way, Melini? This is not the good way.
Oh, I'm talking about Batrider. Universe Batrider.
That's true. Yeah.
Turn to bat.
You know, I'm actually interested to see how passive Universe also plays on his Batrider. Like, if he's going to try and invade into the Radiant jungle, like if he wants to stay in the lane, or if he goes into the jungle early on.
He has the option to do so with the Wisp coming
10 seconds remaining.
That opens up.
So you then have like the Eye and the Batrider. I suppose Eye doesn't have to stay exclusively to that off lane.
IO just runs around, save whatever lane is necessary. You'll see the defensive and the mid and safe just checking runes and getting the stacks off, but I think the opportunity to turn around a lane is far more important. Evil Geniuses ban out the Naga Siren. We saw this used by eHome as well as some other Eastern teams to counter-initiate the Batrider lasso, as well as just counter-initiate the relocate. If you relocate it and you can sleep, you can kind of get away with most of the duration of the relocate and then fight it like that, or just get on top of the Wisp and reposition yourself.
I'm interested to see how Wings approach the next part of their draft. The Mirana, yesterday, we saw it slipping between core as well as support. Yapsor support, I think, was probably one of the best ones we've seen with the Mirana, with insane timings on his Aghanim Scepter. Does Wings normally run this as a core? Like, do we see
Wings
it in
the Mirana?
Yeah, do we see it in a one or two?
They run it two position like almost exclusively. Actually, I think they were one of the first teams to consistently run it in the mid lane. And Wings with a little bit of new flavor, the Sand King.
Another hero which I know we were talking about yesterday.
SK Mirana is just so nasty.
There's also, what was the combination we're talking with, the support SK, when you have both Caustic as well as having the Orb of Venom, like with the double slow of the SK combining together, it's impossible to run away from him. And I'm liking the setup as well for any kind of Mirana arrows. It's not the longest stun in the world, but it should be long enough.
So EG, thinking about the options they have, what do they like to pair with IO? You asked it earlier, but now it's getting later into the draft.
What also works in the lane up against what this is?
Ursa, maybe? They're dire. They need some burst to combo with the Batrider. We see Sven sometimes. One of your signature heroes.
Yeah, if Arteezy was still on the team, I maybe say that Ursa was an option, but yeah, I like Sven a hell of a lot more for the players in EG now.
They don't have that much physical damage, though. That's my problem with Sven this game. It's almost all magical output, and you don't want to rush a BKB, so I think you need someone with a little bit of tankiness that comes from not getting that 4,000 gold item.
Well, PPD's the man with a hard choice. He can show up his core right now or just get his secondary support.
Juggernaut might also be pretty good too.
Do you start to worry though? Like with the Juggernaut, Oracle can really screw around with that.
You can really screw around with
Wings Gaming's
any
turn
melee
to
carry that partners with IO.
So EG go with the Dazzle. So it's one of those very passive support style lineups. No straight up stuns to work with. By having Dazzle and IO, but you got a lot of sustain. That's the upside.
We're lacking damage though. I think Dazzle might be
5
setting for like a
seconds
TA or
remaining.
something too for the mid lane. Maybe not so much
EG's
AoE though.
turn
So
to
need some tankiness, magic immunity. Oh,
pick.
there we
Wings
go.
Gaming's
Okay.
turn to ban.
Well, that answers a big question why the Dazzle is also being picked up. Why would you trade off stuns for this? And you actually look at the lineup from EG, they have very little like crowd control, but their sustain
10
and
seconds
the timing with the
remaining.
Bat Rider, if that can be worked out, that lineup is going to be a real
5
pain for Wings to
seconds
deal with.
remaining.
It is. We haven't seen
Reserve
EG
time.
play Huskar too much, it looks like. They picked that as Star Ladder. Anyways,
It's
so-
the Dota buff has had some holes
Okay.
in its stuff, so yeah, it's quite possible it's at Starlight.
yeah, I was pretty sure that they banned it because I remember Fear saying in an interview, I don't know why they didn't ban the AA.
Oh, wait, no, you're probably talking about the secret game.
Oh.
Yeah, the one where Puppy is just like, that was the secret
10
versus Navi
seconds
game, and they
remaining.
got completely Huskard.
Yeah, so
But AA is still
5
in the pool
seconds
here,
remaining.
and
I think EG will probably likely ban it.
well, it depends if they believe Wings has already got their
turn to
two
ban.
supports. Like if SK and Oracle are support, if SK and Mirana are support, obviously like you'd have to switch this Mirana. If Timber's off,
I think Sand
Mirana's
King could
mid.
easily switch to a support,
Yep.
and that's the most
10
likely
seconds
one.
remaining.
I think you have to respect it at least. Also, another consideration is
seconds
Axe.
remaining.
Although there's not that much physical damage, it is a way to deal with the Dazzle Grave, which is usually the more problematic part.
They take out the Ancient
EG's
Apparition anyway,
turn to
just
pick.
to be safe.
Still need a Sumail hero though.
They do, unless Samel. Well, yeah. Samel has like played around with Bat Rider a little bit, but you can just get an
10
easy
seconds
Samel. But what's an
remaining.
easy Samel hero, which is going to shut down a Timbersaur, is probably where I'd look.
Yeah, you're right. It could be
5 seconds
easily be a
remaining.
Sumail Bat Rider.
It depends if you're looking for your timing on the blink. Like that's going to make a very fast blink in mid.
Reserve time.
You also get someone more like Invoker is still available in the pool.
I like Invoker here. I still think they like damage. It's just all in on Huskar. They do have two defensive supports, but this is all about the Huskar of this game.
Main reason why I'm thinking Invoker is the Huskar is going to create a lot of space here. So if you can get that early Midas over on the Invoker, he's going to scale really nicely into the mid game. But they go for a Slaughter.
Wings
It's
Gaming's
a Fear
turn to
Classic,
pick.
which means Samel will be actually taking the Bat Rider into his hands. Hang on,
Wait.
is that then him or is it Universe on the Slaughter?
Universe. Slardar, Fear, Huskar, Sumail, Bat Rider. So Wings have
10
one last
seconds
pick.
remaining.
That's a lot of mid game aggression.
And good Roche. Oh, Viper. Viper is... I've seen this matchup before, and I've actually played this a few times. Viper does well, okay, but later your Corrosive does nothing to a Huskar because he has a lot of attack speed and a lot of magic resistance, which Corrosive is useless against. The one thing that is very good is that Nether Toxin is very good versus the Huskar. It's the physical damage. So that might be one of the reasons. A lot of teams have been exploring Huskar counters, and looks like Wings' Huskar counter of choice will be the Viper.
Yeah, but he's not going to survive very long if he's going to get amplified every single time too. That's going to be his other problem.
They don't have that much physical damage though. Huskar puts out a lot more magic than physical. And they have the Oracle too, to keep them alive. So that might be pretty nasty. We'll
So-
see how this goes.
So a lot of sustain to work with. Let's go quickly through it. Who's going to get the most amount of kills? I want to back the Huskar team straight away
Prepare
on
I'm
that
going
one.
with
Battle.
Wings.
You're going to go with Wings? I'm
Wings
gonna-
have looked a lot stronger, and I think they have prepared for the Huskar. Number
Okay.
of trees destroyed. It's a timber saw.
Well, 301 plus easy then.
By 30 minutes? Okay, yeah, sure.
I'm going to go with 301 plus. Total number of deaths by 10
I think
minutes.
it's going to be
It looks like a very
very
passive.
hot. What? Are you kidding?
They're not going to get into it.
Passive?
They're not going to get into it, man.
What? Okay, I'm gonna go 16 plus.
Do it. I'm going to go 11 to 15.
Okay.
Burrow Strike already out. PPD. The arrow flies in, and welcome to First Blood. PPD is already going to drop. Not even 42 seconds to the Foghorn.
Passive, Toby.
Hey, I'm happy when I'm wrong on that one. Team with the most runes picked up by the 10-minute mark.
I'm going with. There's a wisp though.
Yeah, it's how much can Wings really
I'm
try
going with
and
the wing.
contest it? Do they come down every single time to stop the IO?
Yeah, I think they have the Sand King. The Sand King Marana threat is I think a lot to deal with this early, with like the very long cooldown Grave. I'm going with Wings, and they have First Blood. They should secure themselves at minimum 1 rune. Actually, okay, Sumail is actually on the Huskar, and Universe is on the Bat Rider. And
Okay.
Bat Rider will be in the safe lane.
And Fear is on the Slaughter. So
Okay.
they run the mid
I'll take your
the mid Huskar with the safe lane Universe, and then the off lane Slaughter. They do have a lot of sustain. Like this dual lane between PPD as well as Fear is going to be really hard to kill. And is this Wings also changing their lanes up a bit? Ice is moving up north. Yep, Timber is just TP'd down to the bottom lane. So Wings are already adjusting. They have the Observer Ward on the hillside, which let them see PPD and Fear moving down here, and they've already adjusted.
And in the mid lane, I think the 2-on-2 should favor Viper earlier. However, it's going to be hard for either of them with CS. Wisp, we already see start off with a TP scroll, just in case things get a little bit hairy in that lane or the other lanes.
When you've got Nio in this lane, like Sumail should be able to go ham. Just needs a couple of levels.
Timbersaw really needs level 2 before he can start doing stuff. He went for Whirling Death. He actually missed the Whirling Death for the First Blood, but he is not going to have an easy time to start.
It's a sad thing for Ice when it comes to the lane, and like we've been seeing a lot of Caustic Finale builds arriving for an SK, but he needed the Burrow Strike so they can ensure the First Blood.
Yep.
So he just has to wait out that lane before he can try and zone the bat. Universe can just do it tough for now.
They need to prevent Wisp from getting the runes. It's one of the most important things to winning the Wisp +1 matchup in mid. Or else, him just getting the bottle charge is very annoying, but him healing up the Huskar for 1.5x, that's like 2.5 runes per rune.
Oh, Sumail, he's really, really low. Like, Zai's doing as much as he can. He's still got 2 bottle charges up his sleeve. And Sumail's still got the salve as well, but it is showing the fact that Shadow and Innocence are able to bully Sumail out for now. Give him 2 levels, and that's not going to be the case anymore. It was like the same with Fear. Like, Fear actually got really like up in the face of Faith, pushing him back underneath his own tier 1 tower, while Universe has a crack on top lane. Marana really, really low, leaving back behind the tower. Flame Break actually put him in a really bad position. He was 4 sticky napalm charges when Universe started that, and he Flame Breaked him into the Firefly.
Level 1 Flame Break plus Napalm does a surprising amount of damage. It catches a lot of people by surprise.
They're going to go again on bottom lane. Quick little Poison Touch. There's no Timber Chain leveled up here for the Timbersaw, and Fear's Crush well off the mark.
And the Whirling Death. The Whirling Death is important because it reduces Slardar's damage by a decent amount.
You actually wonder if like killing was even on their
For an
mind.
arrow on the top lane, Universe gets nailed after the Burrow Strike, and that will be second blood.
Wow, nicely done for Wings. Ice actually prepped that one perfectly. He had a double damage rune and did the initial chip damage onto Universe. Then Universe just thought he can come back in again. Pays the price with his life.
And the Wisp TP top to try and prevent that death from happening.
Which opens up Ice to come into the mid. He doesn't actually, he's got stick charges, so he can Burrow Strike if he comes into the mid lane. And with the Orbs and Sentry down, Wings can be feeling pretty confident that they've got the vision advantage here. Even though, like, during daytime, Sumail has a good wide berth.
If he steps down those stairs, he's on her.
Oh. Well, Sumail won't do it, but on bottom lane, Faith initiated on. Fear, well, he keeps the charge going, but 10 reactive armor charges, that's a little bit too much. And Sumail walked down the stairs. They're coming back over, but Ice, he's been chased down by a range creep, and Zai's already made his way back into the mid lane.
He only came into mid just because the Wisp was on his way. Oracle and Io fighting for the bottom rune, and it looks like Oracle might be in a little bit of a pickle.
Yeah, he's going to get flanked. PPD comes in, blocks a stairwell. Innocence can't get up, and then they try and completely block him in with the illusions. But Fear will move over, gets the last hit. This for him too, puts him over 1k gold, so that blink dagger timing may not be too late.
They're looking pretty decent over here. Huskar does not have that much CS, so Sumail is only sitting at 9, and Viper is dominating with 22.
You think this lane, like, they should be able to zone him out more once the other lanes become more perilous? Because then Innocence can't just sit in the mid, right? But then he has to, or else Sumail's going to kill him.
Well, it's the top lane, I think that's the bigger issue.
They're going again on bottom lane, crush him 1 second time, hits him, actually used the Timber Chain, but Faith still just a little bit too tanky. And they get the rotation in from the Sand King.
Good TP responses by Wings in this early game.
And these lanes, this just seems to be like a bit of a range peppering, but there's still so much sustain.
PPD and Fear trying to wrap around the mid lane and make it a 4-on-2. They do have an observer ward on the south side, but I think this will catch them off guard.
Here they come. Fear running from behind. They're focusing over on Shadow. Sumail, how much damage have you really got with the burning spears? And Fear to help him out, they have enough. It's actually Zai who finds the kill, but there's a quick collateral. As Blink was able to arrive at just the right time, and PPD will go down.
Play by Innocence there. He used Fate's Edict on the Huskar, so that kill was actually much more difficult, and they had to commit much closer to the tower and made that 1-4-1. Not terribly great losing the Viper. He also did not spend his unreliable gold prior to dying over there, and looks like Zai will get a free bottle refill with PPD's TP in the middle lane, certainly helping out him and the Huskar.
My visions are as fleeting as my feet.
It's also another bit of a pain in the butt when Sumail, just before that fight started, he used Inner Vitality, and Innocence Fortunes ended it off. So Sumail actually started that fight really, really low too. No extra support. Universe wants to have another crack up on the top lane with the Blink Lasso. Fear's moved over. He's got the crush for the timing. Remember, they've still got Leap available, but it will not happen in time. So Universe finds himself a kill, quickly TPs himself down to bottom lane so they don't miss out on any of that experience. And this will allow now Fear to farm up on the top.
Yeah, he's doing very well in terms of farm. He was at like 23 CS just a few minutes ago, but having to help out mid, having to help out top lane will slow down his Blink Dagger unless he gets his tower on top, but it's still alive and healthy. Ice trying to lay some deep Observer Wars, slow down the Blink Dagger timing. He will place it. I'm pretty sure Zai did not see that.
No, he didn't see it. I actually did check the vision. Like, he didn't have any side around the tree line. But what they did see was the SK TPing down, and they also saw the Oracle moving, thanks to the Dire Observer Wall that's on just to the west of the bot lane. So EG are aware of the rotation of Wings. They just don't know where Ice and Innocence have ended up.
And that ward blocked the spawn too, not only scouting it out. And Huskar is still trying to work towards his armlet. Will not be a very fast armlet. This is about the time that you see a free farming Huskar get his armlet. 6-7 minutes.
Smoke move from Ice and Innocence. They'll head up to the top lane. And Fear will have to be tested. They can't just Moonlight Shadow themselves in, however, mainly because the amplification being on Mirana makes this a little bit less of a secret plan. And now, while Ice gets revealed, so does Innocence, the smoke breaks, and Fear is back underneath the tier 1 tower in relative safety.
That was some best sense by Slardar over there. It was under nighttime too, so he had only a little bit of time to react. And that's a level 3 Sand King stun that has Tranquil and Windlace, so
they really want to go for this.
Yeah, I don't think they saw that PPD was there though. PPD plopped that Observer Ward right down, and we'll see Ice retreat back towards the safety of the secret shop.
Confidence from Fear when he can just sprint himself forward, but he had double amplification up. Alright, so things have remained fairly passive for the start of this game, only 6 kills in 8 minutes. Everyone must be waiting for their critical timings, and what are we looking for as far as timings?
Huskar Armlet is the first one, Blink Dagger on Batrider and or Slaughter is the second one, but it looks like Universe might be going for the Drums build with the Windlace and the Bracer in his stash.
That was a really heavy commitment from Wings. It looked like they believed they had Summel when Ice TP'd in. Potentially could have Burrow strike forward, but it's the top lane where now they're going to go with the amplification into the crush. Mirana, PPD, the Shadow Wave, Field Bomb. It goes on the Mirana. They've got the turn damage into PPD. Find that kill. The Fear wants to go for more. The crush onto Ice. He has to stay in place, but Zai will get another kill. That makes it 3 for the IO out, the 5 that EG have taken.
Got him with his leap down. Nice plays from Fear, though. I think Fear's really keeping his team together in this early game. And making plays in all of the lanes. And slowing down the Mirana, who was... She was number one network leader for quite some time. She was like 3,300 when everyone else was a little above 2,000. Now that's equalized quite a bit, and he's halfway to his Blink Dagger.
Still CS-wise, like, you can see how Wings are holding control of the lanes, but overall, like, it's still only maybe 700 gold going the way of Wings. Net worth, the experience just slipping the way in favor of EG.
And let's see, the Mirana has not really had an opportunity to use Moonlight Shadow, as you mentioned, and I mean, EG has an Observer Ward in all 3 of the lanes, so they are actually kind of well prepared for that Batrider with an Invisibility Rune, trying to look out for Shadow.
PPD,
Level 3 Corrosive. A
little bit of trouble. Burrow strike through into the follow-up arrow. Support's coming over from Universe, but it's way too late. With the Invis Rune, he can't get any kind of follow-up here. Mainly because he's just got no teammates next to him. Sai doesn't have relocate yet, so they can't just drag in Summel.
Summel still needs 2 pieces of his armlet, only the Helm of Iron Will and the Gloves of Haste. Universe may be setting up for someone, but he needs someone else to come over. Slardar, no TP. Huskar not interested in leaving that mid lane, so it will just expire.
I think Zai's realized, like, he's not even attempting to put the stack here. He's realized there's an Observer Ward. Up next to Secret Shot Universe. Okay, he's got Lasso. Wait to let him set up a little bit, and now there's your jump in with a relocate. Zai was able to have it.
Nice tome usage by Zai. I think he was just level 5 at...
he was.
Yeah, and then he picked up the tome and then they relocated. That was very unexpected by Wings. Whenever you're playing against Wisp, you constantly pull down a score tab trying to see what level the Wisp is. And they did have eyes on him too,
yeah.
So they didn't even have to do that.
He was standing on top of the Obs Ward and showing the fact that he was level 5.
Yeah, maybe he was trying to next level them. It's like, hey, I'm level 5, guys. I know you see me.
We can give him the credit for it at least, even if he didn't intend it. Unintentional awesomeness. Alright, so EG now, just leading by 1 kill. But there's still no map control to be taken. This looks like a big brawler game between Wings and EG just brewing.
I think EG is about to explode though pretty soon. The Blink on the Slardar and the Arblet on the Huskar, I think they could force a fight into the Roche pit, which they should be able to control very well because of the Batrider inside the pit, as well as the threat of the split push and the relocate on the side lanes with the IO. So they can spread Wings up around the map and just take Roche at their leisure. Unless they have a move on the top lane, Fear.
That's what they're looking for. PPD's in the neighborhood to leap forward into the arrow. Fear will go down. PPD could not get the Shallow Grave off in time, but Universe looking for some revenge. He does not have Lasso. It's on cooldown for another 3 seconds. With the 10-1 charges, doesn't commit. 4 heroes from Wings arriving on the top lane.
What a time to kill Slardar. He was just a couple hundred gold away.
Slow down that Blink Dagger.
Yeah, they
and
set
Wings
up
keep chasing. Like, Ice is going in very deep on the dire jungle.
Just want to make sure that they don't have any stacks. Just scouting it out, and now they see a 2.
Found one. Mirana could potentially steal some of that too if he wants to with the arrow.
They're looking for the juicy 4-5 stacks, Toby.
That would give a lot of money. Always feels very weird when you see a Mirana. Like almost every Mirana we had yesterday was Narcane Boot Mirana.
Mm-hmm. He likes his face, and he also likes. I saw him get like level 2 leap at like level 4 or something. I don't know. He does strange things now and then.
PPD in trouble, gonna self-grave very quickly. The relocate's coming in, however. This will bring Sumail to the front lines. He still doesn't have that armor up just yet, but with the epicenter prepared by Ice, he'll fire a strike in. Sumail's in trouble, so I can't keep him alive. The relocate, it doesn't even have time to end in 2 seconds, but he gets sliced up by the Timbersaw. And Universe and PPD are stuck underneath their tier 1 tower with Wings circling like sharks. And when they drag the creep wave down, this is now a license to dive. Universe does not have a TP scroll. He's got another 11 seconds till his Firefly comes back off cooldown. And ISI is going to have a lock.
Bottom tower is under attack.
And this is one of the things about Wings that I think makes them very strong, is that they overcommit to ganks. It's like, oh, I only see 2 people going on our Dazzle, we're going to relocate 3, and oh wait, their whole entire team is here. And if Oracle weren't there, that would have just been EG getting 2 very, very easy kills.
We're going to see it again. So Sumail arrives in. Faith very deep in, but by timiding off to the side, he dragged EG into the unfavorable position. But we come back live as they battle it up in the mid lane. EG again fighting up the towers. This time it's the Radiant Tower. With a 2-for-1 trade-off, they bring down the Viper. But Sumail goes down again.
Is under attack.
That was a Blink Dagger reveal up on Fear, trying to look for a +1 as he circles around. However, they do not have an Observer Ward plop down. They don't have good vision behind the tower. In a sense, not in a good spot here.
Fear still doesn't see him though. The vision. Now he'll get a glimpse. Crush up, amplify him, gets an extra bash just for good measure, and PPD will help him out. Innocent's looking to deny himself up to the Ancients, but can't reach the golems in time.
Maybe he thought he had a little bit more mana. I was surprised he didn't disarm the Slardar. Arrow misses Slardar by a good margin, and Sumail finally has completed his armlet.
Took a while.
Long time.
And this is like a straight armor too. There's no strength throws behind it. There's no extra items coupling apart from the magic wand. Sumail still needs more time to get some strength behind this Husker, and not just rely on Zai. Even though Zai has still got 4 kills and 1 death to his name, so he's walking around with Urn as well as Arcane Boots.
And the Dire team is circling around the bottom room here.
Oh, ISI's coming in. He Forest Strikes on the Zai and Fear right there. Blink Crush with the damage of Fate. It's so big with the Timber Chain through, but it's the SK the one to die. Zai had the 1 charges up his sleeve. They regen up nice and quick. And they're circling. Universe, the Flame Break, they're trying to push him back in closer. Sentry Ward down by PPD will reveal Shadow with the rest of Wings. They are all here. It's 5-man style Dota, even though there's 4 of them alive. Sumail, the Life Break is up. Does he want to jump? And who's he jump towards? Faith is the one timiditating away with Fear. A great crush. They hold him there, but then the Shark him. They turn and fight. Faith being on a lot more time thanks to the Oracle. He will probably still pop, though he won't. He actually regens up more than enough under the tier 1 tower. And now it's EG who are on the run. Sumail is too low. 1 whirling death and 1 punch. The Timber finds another kill. They Barrier Strike to the west. They attack to the east. And EG, they are killed all the way across the Radiant jungle. Universe will survive, but EG found themselves way too deep and way too outnumbered.
Oracle is the new hot support. EG had coordinated so well to try and get kill before the False Promise came out, but he casts it like when they're at 10%. Normally when you're an Oracle player, you're like, oh god, I don't want to cast it before they die. You don't want to cast too early or they won't hit, and you don't want to cast too late or that person is just in the grave. Same with the Dazzle, but the Dazzle has much less of an impact, I feel like, than the Oracle of this game.
Yeah.
Mostly because the Huskar has been very weak, but like the Huskar went in really deep, the Slardar went in very deep, and they just got destroyed by that damage from the Timbersaw. My goodness.
EG's going for another hunt. So Fear's gonna have to Blink Crush this mid lane. They're looking to Shadow. This time around, there's no friends from Wings for neighborhood. They're TPing over the tier 1 tower, and EG, it's like they're trying to take a leaf out of Wings' book right now. Bring 5 players to every single team fight. Then you should be covered.
Middle tower
And if they
under
secure
attack.
this tower, Roshan will be opened up, and maybe Sumail and get a foothold in this game. Yeah, I think that's how you do respond. You're like, okay, well, you guys are going to send 5 Zai in a little bit of danger.
The arrow's going to fly up. He'll avoid it. Moving over, so Zai's going to tether target.
This Timbersaw's very farmed, though. He has 12 Bloodstone charges and 6 kills. And it's kind of the dream.
Oh, they're coming to defense. Fear just uses
attack.
Blink to get back. Defensive weave from PPD. But Wings has brought everybody apart from the Mirana into that mid. Okay, they're not going to... I thought for a moment they were going to go because of the TP timing.
They didn't see the Wisp. I think it's suicide to go on the Huskar when you don't see one of the defensive heroes. They'll just heal him up, he'll be really low and just output a ton of damage while armlet toggling, and then get Graves if he's in severe danger. And now Wings has an added toolkit to their arsenal. The Ag Scepter complete on the Mirana, 19 minutes in. Pretty good timing.
And they're instantly going to put it to work. The smoke maneuver from Wings.
There's been a lot of missed spells. I've just seen Timber Saw miss
Dire's
maybe
middle tower
4
is
plus
under
whirling
attack.
discs. Missed the chain
Dire's
right there.
structures
Not
are
the biggest though,
fortified.
PPD. Out in no man's land.
Ice, Wings forward, gets the stun, follow-up arrow. Zai tried to tether in to save the Dazzle.
Dire's middle tower.
Well, he
has
wasn't
fallen.
committing relocate with that one. It was more just a tether for heal.
Wings are giving them no chance to secure this roast. They like don't split up and farm when there's an
Dire's
okay
middle
opportunity.
tower is under
Like
attack.
sometimes you'll see teams like, oh, let's push towers. We're stronger than them 5-on-5. But if you push a tower, like for top tower, for example, you're just gonna be opening that up for them, and they are just trying to gain control of this top side of the map, dropping down deep observer wards.
And they actually were scouting out Batrider farming. Some Universe may have noticed that, because he was flying up, and that's what revealed the SK when he threw down the ward. He came out of Moonlight Shadow.
So this Viper's not been perfected. 0-4, trying to work on a Dragonlance, but he's been the front of a lot of the ganks from EG.
Didn't he do his job though, right? Like he was just meant to keep
Dire's
Samael
top
down
tower is under
in the
attack.
early
He definitely
stages.
did that.
Yeah, and with the help of Oracle, like it worked perfectly.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
EG trying to get aggressive again. This time it's going to be the mid lane. Faith, long timber chain back, former place of his tier 1 tower, so there was no easy jump. And that's thanks to these 2 observer wards mid lane as well as inside the Dire jungle. They just see every maneuver.
To be very careful about where they farm out and where they have the reserve rewards. Any one hero can easily die to a blink, Slardog Crush, and to a relocate. So, or lasso plus relocate. So there are multiple threats coming out from EG, and Wings have to stay a little bit safe. And EG constantly eyeing for opportunities in each of the 3 lanes.
Well, that observer ward's able to see a little bit. At least get a glimpse of Ice as well as Faith. Why Fear is now blinking himself away from the mid. But EG are preparing themselves on top lane. Like Universe can TP down the bottom lane if he really needs to. Universe also did go for that drums to Ether Lens, but he still needs to reach the Blink Dagger.
Oracle
Radiant's
hasn't
top tower is
really
under attack.
been
Radiant structures
waiting for the
are
lasso,
fortified.
and this is generally how you'll see the
Dire's
Batriders
bottom
play
tower
against
is
a
under attack.
hard lasso
Radiant's
counter,
top tower
is
has
just
fallen.
napalming, flame breaking, being super annoying, and just saving your lasso until the perfect moment, which is not at the start of the fight like you normally see Batriders. So I like this from Batrider. This is a mark of a very experienced Batrider player.
They still need a way to get rid of that Oracle early on. Like a good relocate position
They
could do
definitely
that.
do.
Like Innocence is always
Radiant's
at the
top
back
tower
line.
is under attack.
You just can't get forward. And even if you think you do, like Ice is always there with an Epicenter lens, so you're going to find yourself in a world of
Dire's
hurt.
bottom
It's also
tower is
their
fallen.
tanks playing very well. Like
Radiant's top
the Viper,
tower
as
is
you mentioned,
under
is doing his
attack.
job. He's out in front. They have to get past him to get to the Oracle, and they're never like playing super far back. And dying for that reason is pretty decent. So Wings don't fall for the trap of defending that tower on top, although
Oh, that
They-
chain forward. Samel's going to make a run. We're going to Centaur War Runner as well. Headed up north.
they trade the bottom T2 for the top, which is like even if it were a T1 for a T1, it would still favor Wings because of the Roshan control. And now they're slowly eliminating the control points that EG has around that. And I think like Huskar not getting Aegis just means like his timer is just gonna expire much sooner. Huskar tends to fall off. I would say maybe 30, 35 plus once heroes start getting BKBs. Not that Wings have any good BKB carriers, but it's still around that time where his magic damage just isn't as strong as it used to be. And like once he dies a lot, and once he doesn't have a good early game, and then compound that with him not getting the Aegis, then the timer becomes 5-10 minutes earlier than normal.
At the time at which is being flashed up there by Nox, the average game time. I think that's going to be a little bit extended through this series, as both teams, they can still go hammer and tongs at each other, but no one's really looking to go high ground just yet. Right now, EG is just looking to go mid lane. The Observer Ward's down, so they see Shadow. There's support nearby in the form of the Oracle, but Innocence is already backing up, looking like he's preparing to do a small stack, potentially, or they do their own smoke. Yeah, four-man group up. They go for a smoke. Top lane relocates on the way. They're looking for the Mirana. He's worth a lot of money. And PPD is the man to find the kill. There's a full 5-man group to ensure that.
And they're smoking. They found the wisp. And they
I think they were expecting more than an IO to come back then.
They're immediately starting on the Roach with the GD on the Viper. I don't know if EG has wind of this. And they likely don't expect them to do Roach without the Mirana. The Mirana being a much more important hero for Wings than the Wisp to EG, but the damage output from the Viper, it's going down slowly. They actually do not have vision around the pit, but EG will start suspecting something very soon when none of the heroes have shown.
If maybe if there was like one Observer Ward from EG in the Radiant jungle, this would be flagging a lot faster, but they put their Observer Ward in the mid lane as well as next to the Radiant Seeker shop, but they're coming in close now. PBD puts down the sentry. Roshan is pretty low, and EG, can they smell the blood in the water? And right now they're actually going over towards Ancients, while Innocence and Shadow, they're still finishing the job inside the pit. Sentry wards are going down for PPD, but they still don't see inside the pit. Now the Obs ward is being placed. They realize the Obs ward is up, but the Sentry ward, that may reveal enough. Faith moving forward underneath that Sentry, but Roshan, he's gonna go down. Viper is the Aegis to the Immortal. And EG, they were backing out. Maybe expected Wings to be attacking in, but either way, Wings just got away with Roshan's murder.
They expected the Timber, like they were playing around the Timbersaw. The Timbersaw showed himself in the bottom lane. He was threatening the T3, and I think they were expecting like a gank wraparound to gank the party that was going to gank the Timbersaw. That's what they were positioned for, and they like that's just not something that you expect. This like Viper lineup doing Roche with their most farmed hero dead, and that's just very difficult to predict.
It's EG's turn for the wraparound. They've been prepped up a little bit. They had the Frost Ogre, so there's a little bit of extra cold armor.
But everyone's on the north side.
Ooh, Fear's showing himself. This is a little bit too much obvious bait. So the scouting arrow thrown into the tree lines. It will miss Sumail.
But look at Shadow. He's just like, okay, I'm just gonna beat on your C2 with my Dragon Lance.
Range is a beautiful thing. So is backdoor regeneration, but he's almost beating it.
There's one melee creep and they ping it out. He is their hero.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's
Tier
middle
2 tower
has
belongs to
fallen.
Wings. That leaves only one remaining outer tower right now from EG, and that's up on top lane. By the looks of it, not in any position to defend this. In fact, they're already moving down to bottom lane, and Wings,
Dire's top
you gotta say,
tower
like, they
is under
always seem to be in
attack.
the right place at the right time. Always preparing beforehand. They're making EG look left when they go right.
We don't have a TP on the Mirana though, so it might not be a large-scale engagement. Maybe looking to just stop TPs as they try and defend Wings. Likely
Maybe.
looking to glyph at the last second, but
It's a relocate they have to stop. That's to be the main thing that's going to bring Fear back. Now they are arriving in the base, so Shadow starts attacking into the tier 3 tower. Epicenter preparing on bottom. The Burrow can Fear into the mount. Tether forward from Zion, not the relocate. Triggers the mech, but already they've lost the Slaughter. Sumail has to try and stand his ground. He can't attack for the moment. Innocence has held him at bay in the Moonlight Shadow. They're playing the invis game, looking for Zion the Wisp. Iron Spirit able to slash down the SK, but the damage is just so big from Wings. They bring down all three on the bottom. For the trade-off of the SK and the tier 1 tower.
oh, it was a pretty good play by Wings right there. They had set up, notice the TP's on the south side too. They didn't see the TP until the BOT was already coming out, and they just thought it was a solo TP. The Epicenter comes out on 2. Some misspells here and there. Burrow Strike narrowly misses Sumail right here, and he actually ends up paying for it by dying to the Wisp balls, but still, they do get 2 prize heroes, and only at the cost of a T1 and a Sand King. Actually, 3 heroes, but I wouldn't really call Wisp prized.
Well, considering how many kills Zai's managed to get during this game,
maybe
he is. Like that's 7 kills and 4 deaths now on the IO.
They've gotten 2 kills and 1 support. Sumail being the support.
Yeah. That's actually really crazy when you think about it. Like between PPD as well as Zai, yeah, that's not a good stat when you have 5 kills on cores.
Okay, I want this game to go 20 minutes longer so I can see the Oracle Ags. I have never seen it in a competitive game yet.
I don't think that's to go 20 minutes, man. Like, he's only 1k away. With a fall of the mid, he's probably going to have enough money for it.
Do you know what the Ags does? I wouldn't even blame you because...
Oh,
No?
educate.
Purifying Flames cooldown reduced, I believe, to 1 second. Yeah, 1 second cooldown.
Okay.
It's already pretty low.
Could be narrowed up. Now, in comes your epicenter from Ironside. Zai got a lot of good regen. Actually gets to relocate back onto the tier 4 towers. Allows Samel to beat down Innocence. So they've brought down the Oracle. Is this what EG needs to defend? Then again, have they got enough to stay in for it? There's the kill. The Huskar brings down the SK. And thanks to the Burning Spears finishing the job. Shadow doesn't really have a lot of mana to work with. He has, however, the Aegis, the Immortal Fear, Blink, Crush with the extra badge. They burn through the Aegis. Samel caught the front lines a little bit too far out, but now they can move over towards Shadow. The life break forward, looking for the Viper with the Crush, actually catching Mirana as well. Mirana dropping low, they get through Shadow. Samel, the Shallow Grave, lets him fight, lets him toggle, and looking for even more kills. Gotta be wary of that chakram, not to mention the invis battle, or the amplification over on the Mirana. They know exactly where to go. Blink forward with a chain. He's in the middle of EG. Universe perfectly spacing himself so that you are impossible to get Faith. Get the damage on him to find the kill. Middle of suicide. I mean, EG don't get to take the full glory, but they defend. They push Wings out. They lose their tier 3 tower. They hold on to their racks.
And that's the TI5 EG right there. That amount of teamwork coming out. Zai with a very clutch relocate, saving Fear from the grips of death.
That was such last minute as well.
And very nice Manta dodge right there too. Dodging the life break, and they were so close to killing so many people. A PvD with the Grave, the armlet toggling, the inner Vit, and with the amp to chase. Very tough tail for Wings as they try and make their high ground breach. They do end up getting half damage on the Rex and the T3 down, but certainly not worth it. And the hero that bought back was a Huskar, who was already pretty poor to begin with. I'm pretty sure he gained gold out of that buyback, which is actually a pretty rare scenario nowadays with that huge debuff post-buyback.
It's also not great when your half damage was on the melee racks. That thing's regenerating up quickly, and by the time Wings is ready to come back in, it may even be full again.
I don't know if Viper's the best Aegis carrier. He dies the most, but he doesn't seem that useful if he dies twice, because he can't get back in position. Like, he just gets swarmed by the Slaughter and the Huskar. I think the Mirana might actually be better. Because she does a lot of sustained damage. Viper's like, I don't know. He just seems underwhelming.
She does put herself in a lot more peril with that Aghanims too. Always jumping in. But at the same time, like her last jump in, was met by the Crush of Fear. Fear's positioning during these fights has also been amazing. It's going to get even easier now. It's completed up that BKB. So controlling up Fear is pretty much in the hands of the Viper at the moment. So you got Blink, Force, Gem, Lens on Universe. They'll see a lot of this coming. Zai's walking around with full Greaves on an IO. Wow. Yeah, that's a lot of money on the IO.
A lot of times you don't even see Wisps get boots. Let alone Greaves.
Hey, he's finished the whole thing. And Wings is pushing in through the top lane. They don't have everything with them just yet. They're actually bringing a smoke over. They're going to smoke directly into EG. EG are moving up to get the Blink Rush over on face. The fire strike! It hits on 3! Universe Small can be caught out with a follow-up into epicenter. Smell will survive thanks to the Shallow Grave. But will it be enough? Zai was sent to two different targets, and Smell just has to toggle his way through this. Impossible when you get burrow striked up by Eyesight. 3 euros lost from EG. Zai will TP out, but unsuccessfully. 4 down for the count. They brought down the Viper. EG thought they were going to be the aggressors, but once again, Wings, they bring everybody to gate crash the EG party.
Wow, Ice with that stun. So Slardar had already went on to the Timbersaw, and then right as it happened, he blinks and catches out all the follow-up on top of their main stun not being able to stop the epicenter. So you use the Bat Rider is way too far away to Flame Break or lasso him, and then everyone else is like, I can't stop this epicenter.
That's the abort command. Release it there. EG, get the hell out. There's your Aghanim Scepter. It's over on Innocence now.
Never seen it before. Most Oracles will just go for Aetherlens because it's a lot safer, and you can get range so you don't get lassoed by the Bat Rider. But this is a nice twist. Let's see how effective it is.
It's the confidence with a capital Wings.
Confidence would be getting Kunkka eggs.
That would be confidence. Just boat it after boat it, and this is it again. A perfect Burrow strike into the epicenter. You're looking at Zion PP, he's like, what do we do? We'll tether and hold each other, but no one holding Sumail through this.
Yeah, they try to grave him, but the damage had already been done. Universe, I guess maybe secondary damage dealer. Third. Yeah, third.
But this was the weakness you're talking about during the drafting phase. It's like who else is really your damage dealer? You want to put Fear on the front lines with the BKB, he's able to do that, but not in those scenarios, not when you get Burrow Strike initiate. So EG want to be the aggressors, Blink Crush, it doesn't catch Mirana, but relocating in the BKB, soaks up the arrow, and looking for the kill over on Shadow, but in comes Ice again, a great epicenter, hitting all of EG, Universal Pop, Innocence is all over it, just purify everybody right now. Ice maybe going to be protected, don't fear, back up with the Blink Crush, he needs to do some work, but right now it's 1-on-3, Innocence is the one he'd like to have, but he just gets shredded apart, the double chakrams, and GG, well played. EG will call it at the 35-minute mark. Wow. Wings have just won game number 1 of the 2-game series to kick off their international run.
That was pretty convincing, I think, coming out from Wings, and I would also say pretty convincing coming out from EG too. I don't think that Huskar is in their normal repertoire of heroes, and Sumail, that's not really the type of hero that we think of when we think of Sumail. We think of more the playmakers, not the Superman type hero that we see.